time. I know Senator Clinton very well. I have known her since she brought her freshman daughter to Stanford when I was the provost of Stanford. She's someone of high intelligence, great integrity, and in fact has what one needs most in this job, which is a profound commitment to the United States, its interests, its values. And I think many people here know her from having been very involved in UN affairs when she was First Lady, and of course she was Senator from New York as well. And so I think she will do a really very fine job as Secretary of State. And as to Susan Rice was a student when I was at Stanford. There seems to be a theme here, and we know each other well. She is also somebody who's highly intelligent and will work very hard, and I think she will put her heart and soul into the UN because she's a great believer in this institution and in what it can do. I do believe that, now not speaking for my successors, but I do think that the United Nations over the last several years, in particular the Security Council, has been asked to do some very difficult things. And sometimes it succeeded and sometimes it has not. And if the United Nations and the Security Council in particular are going to keep the mandate for really defending international peace and security, it will have to do hard things, not just easy ones. And that is not always easy because obviously it's not easy to get all of the Security Council members to agree or even the Perm 5 to agree. But I think we've established a record in the Bush administration of working very aggressively and very actively in the Security Council to ask it to do hard things, and I don't think that's going to change going forward.
S.V.Lavrov.Совместная.
The Diplomat magazine, Moscow. The question is to all the ladies and gentlemen taking part in this press conference: how efficient is the quartet in doing its job, and how important are the decisions taken today? Thank you.
Our leader.
I think the quartet has been proven to be very effective and efficient and very cooperative among the quartet principals. And since we have established this format, we have been meeting quite regularly, at least several times a year during the last several years. And particularly since the Annapolis peace process was launched November last year, we've been meeting very closely to accelerate this peace process. And the meeting, together with our partners, which we have newly introduced, that has been also very much important, working together with our partners. I'm sure that we will continue to promote the acceleration of our peace initiative, even with the transition of government in America and Israel and the Palestinian. And you can have full support and assurance from us. Thank you.
We go to Sylviane Zehil.
Sylviane Zehil, L'Orient le Jour. Madam Secretary, here. Madam Secretary, when you started your tenure as a Secretary of State, you were much more into new democracy in the Middle East. What do you think you achieved when you look back? What do you believe you achieved in this matter, in this field, particularly in Lebanon and in the Middle East, please?
Well, thank you. First, let me say that the United States has long been a country that believes that its values and its interests are intertwined, and that America is safer when democracy is on the march, and we are more vulnerable when it is not. Our best friends and partners, of which we have many, are states with which we share values. It doesn't mean that we aren't able to cooperate with states where we simply share interests, but our strongest partners are those with which we share values. The one exception to the view that our values and interests were inextricably linked had really been the Middle East, where I think we had really focused more on stability at the expense of values. We didn't talk much about democracy in the Middle East. And I think as a result, we probably contributed to what the Arab Human Development Report called a freedom deficit in the Middle East, where really as Africa and Asia and Latin America and certainly Europe moved further and further along the lines of representative, pluralistic, popular legitimacy of governments, the Middle East was not moving in that direction. But I do believe that because of the President's emphasis on the freedom agenda, the conversation is different in the Middle East today than it was in 2001 or even in 2005. One can go to the Forum for the Future and hear the voices of civil society throughout the Middle East being empowered, an institution that the United States with Arab partners created. One can sit, as I did the other day, and be with Palestinian leaders who are working with youth in youth centers and English language and really even sports, and listen to their hopes for their democratic state of Palestine. One can, as President Bush had the chance to do yesterday, be received by the democratically elected president of a multi-confessional, multi-ethnic Iraq, something that I think was unthinkable just a little while ago. And as to Lebanon, one has only to go back to 2005 and recognize that this is now a state where Syrian forces are no longer